working for a company is always running by the rules of that company, right? That's what you implicitly agree to when you work for a company that's not your own. You implicitly agree to the cultural rules and to any other rule and regulation that that company has. Also, so the reason I do what I do and is because I see more and more out there is people that are completely disconnected from who they are, from what they feel, from their authentic self. And so when I look at uh, the world in general, for example, yesterday I saw this old man, a gentleman, sitting in the restaurant on. It was the day, well, 2 days after Valentine's Day. He was very obviously there because of that, and he was sitting there by himself, looking at a picture of his children, and he brought a rose to put on the table, and it hurt me because he brought a picture of his children, yet his children were not there. And I'm wondering, and I believe that as a society, we have become so disconnected from ourselves. And there may be 100 reasons why that gentleman was there by himself. Maybe his children live abroad. Maybe, there's 100 reasons, 100 reasons. I know. But in my mind and in how I perceived this this situation, he was so sad, and I wished different for him. I genuinely wish different for him. And I feel that a lot of people now deal with loneliness, and it doesn't have to be just an older person. A lot of people in general, people of every generation, experience loneliness and experience that sensation of why why am I running around in this, what I call the rat race, right? Why am I living according to other people's rules? And and why am I so disconnected from my feelings? And I feel that the two are connected. That gentleman, that person that feels lonely is is could do as an entrepreneur, could do so much more, and by stepping out of that corporate environment, could disconnect back to their hearts, could align their mind and their heart. And with that, slowly make their recovery into a life that is also more connected to the community, more connected to the people around, and can feel again. And so that's why I think it's more important than ever to get out of corporate and into a life that is more aligned both heart and mind. It's so important that people get that jump start, isn't it? Because there is, of course, there is this whole, you can, you need some kind of impulse out of it. You have been conditioned in a certain model, you've been conditioned to run a certain way, and then you it's way better to get that jump start and then boost out and then slowly start implementing what you've learned about yourself than just slowly starting. And because a slow start also makes our nervous systems want to go back to the old situation, want to go back to what is safe, even though it doesn't make us happy. There is not a day that goes by that I do not learn about myself, because either I learn because of growth or I learn because of my resistance. There's this, oh, I really don't feel like, and if you tune in, and as we mentioned before, I mean, we're this whole connecting and reconnecting with yourself. The moment I get resistance, the first thought that comes up in me is like, why do I have that? And then what is it that my body, my mind, my feelings are trying to tell me about this particular day or about this particular situation? And then so either I learn by growing, or I learn by pushing through that resistance and looking at what I would like to have differently, right? When you give yourself permission to shine, it's kind of like you show others that they also have that permission to shine. Um, I I'm wondering which author I read a lot of books, and there was an author recently that mentioned exactly that. That said, if you grow, you allow your environment to grow with you, and and everybody in your family, the people that are close to you, everybody becomes better, everybody becomes happier, everybody steps up because they can see that it can be done. And being the first one to take that step for your community and for your family, that's something amazing. It's like you have to become your own parent. You no longer have somebody that tells you what to do. You have to become your own parent. And so it's time to stop being a child and step into your full power. So absolutely love that. I'm Carolina Bakker. I'm the rat race recovery coach. And so what I found is that a lot of people that are moving from corporate into entrepreneurship, they have left corporate physically, but the high pressure and the stress basically of the corporate environment is still in their system. So they have left physically, but they are still mentally, emotionally, and spiritually attached to that environment. And so my coaching helps people that have a uh, that have a new mission, that have a new vision, to incorporate that in their lives, in their day-to-day lives, and so that it fits, and so that the business becomes part of your life, and your life doesn't become a part of your business.